Hello everybody, welcome to Retro Gamer Ranting Season 2, all that good stuff. I am your host, Twitch, and here I am again with some awesomeness for you. Hey, awesome news. I have some birthday money because I'm to that age now where people just get me money for my birthday. So I have a lot of birthday money left over. So I went online to Amazon.com and I bought myself something called the Retron 3 NES, SNES, Genesis Triple System, the Vector Red. Which is kind of funny because I'm looking at it right now on Amazon and I realized I think I paid $48.82 for it. And I'm looking and they also have a metallic gray version. And guess what? The price for the metallic gray version is $47.66. Isn't that kind of funny? Like, the fact that I got red, I had to pay about $1 more for it. Anyway, I got it. I've been following it for a while. It's one of those third-party video game systems, and it's not perfect. You know, it can't run every single game, but pretty darn close. And I kind of wanted it, mostly because a couple of things. It was one of the few third-party consoles out there that actually gets decent ratings. I saw a review for it on YouTube a couple of times, and I looked it up, and I've been wanting one of those for a while because I just have a mess of cords and consoles in my little classic video game corner, and this way I'll at least be able to clean up 3 of them, and I'll be able to play my NES, Super NES, and Genesis games on it. And so hopefully it's as decent as people say. It's not perfect, of course, but I picked that up, so I'm kind of excited. I don't have it yet. And one of the cool things I like about it is the fact that it actually has ports for the original controllers. So you can use your original Super Nintendo controllers and Nintendo and Genesis controllers, which is good because apparently the controllers that come with it are complete crap. So, but this way it'll help me keep it so I have it all on one system. At least those 3. So that's kind of exciting. Another thing is my friend B-Dog gave me a late birthday present. Well, I knew I was getting it on my birthday. He just ordered it. He got me Street Fighter Alpha 3 for the Dreamcast. Awesome! Very much so. I honestly thought he was actually, like, the way he said it, he's just like, oh, I got you Street Fighter 3. He didn't say Alpha 3. So I thought I was getting Street Fighter 3, and then he gave me Street Fighter Alpha 3, which either way, I would have been fine. And it's really sweet. It pretty much is arcade perfection, like it says on the back. It's awesome. I've always been a real big fan of the Street Fighter Alpha series, and of course, Street Fighter Alpha 3 was one of the most insanely popular Street Fighters out there. So but it's really, really great, and I should do a review. I actually own Street Fighter Alpha 3 for my Game Boy Advance, which is that version was a really good version too. This version I think is really awesome. It has a lot of options to it that I've never seen in a Street Fighter game before, so including some team modes and all this other stuff. And so it's definitely one of the best versions I've ever played of Street Fighter Alpha 3. And so now the only one that I'm looking for now is Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and I really, really hope to order that soon. I've been looking for a decent price for it and trying to figure out what system to get it for. Right now I'm probably going to get it for the Dreamcast, but who knows? I'm kind of waiting on it. What else is going on? Mario 64. Which is an awesome game, and I've been playing it. And for those of you who watched my Gaming Loot video a while back around the end of the holidays there, I basically said I got that from a disc trader's place for about $12. I don't know if I said the price at the time, but I paid about $12.99 for it at the disc trader's place because I could never find it anywhere else. Or when I did find it, I was stupid and didn't buy it. But I found it there and I was like, I'm going to get it. $12.99, that's a steal for Mario 64. So, okay, a few weeks after I did that recording, me and my cousin went to a place called a Record Rack where I live. And it is a kind of does mostly music, but it has some classic video game consoles that you can get there and trade in and stuff. They have N64 stuff and Xbox and PlayStation 2 and Wii and stuff like that. They actually had Mario 64 there. I've been checking there for eons for Mario 64, and it never was there. And I went there the other day, well, that week, and it was there for $5.99. So I'm like, oh my god, I finally get it, and I find it someplace else for 10 times cheaper. So today I went out with my wife and a friend, and we went to Goodwill. Sometimes find some really, really good bargains on video games at Goodwill. And so I love checking Goodwill for that. You can find an old console or an old video game or whatever there. That's how I got it, NFL Blitz and a couple of Atari games and stuff. So I'm looking through. Next thing I know, I see Mario 64 sitting there for $1. Yeah, Mario 64 for the Nintendo 64. Super Mario 64 was there for $1. I think it was 98 cents the lady gave it to me for. I bought it. I had to. So I have 2 copies of Mario 64. I almost bought the $5.99 one, but you can't pass up that. So I have 2 copies of Mario 64 right now. So that just... this just leads me to ask anyone, don't you just hate that when you go out and you buy something and like a week later you find it for sale, like someplace else or whatever, and it's just like, I spent $12.99 on Mario 64 and I could have got it for $5.99 and I got it for $1 today, and so I have 2 copies of Mario 64. So yeah, I'm gonna have to clean it up. It looks a little dirty, but for $1 I'm not gonna pass up another copy of Mario 64. And so I'm gonna clean it up and make sure it works, and who knows, if it works and I'm feeling really generous, I might just give it away, but I'm not sure about that yet. So who knows? I don't do contests, but I should, because I love you guys. So that just kind of burned my biscuits, I guess. And anyway, PSP2 has been announced. Kind of old news at this point of me doing it, and a lot of people are already going, oh my god, what's going to be better, the 3DS or the PSP2 or the NGP, as people call it, the next generation portable. Apparently it has graphics that are pretty much on par with the PS3. It has a front touch and back touch, which kind of looked creepy to me when I saw people doing it, and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I'm not really going to sit here and go, oh, well, 3DS versus PSP2, who's going to win? I'm a Nintendo guy, okay? I'm sorry. I just am. So I'm going to just go out on a limb here, people, and tell you, Sony missed the boat, alright? I'm sorry, Sony. E3 last year, everyone was focusing, Sony was focusing, Microsoft was focusing on the motion control capabilities and stuff like that, and Nintendo decided to move away from that, sans Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, and basically most of the games were very little motion control, and of course focused the entire E3 almost on their next generation portable themselves, called the Nintendo 3DS, which arguably stole the show and blew everyone away, and to this day still blew everyone away. They got a head start, and they're coming out soon, a lot sooner than you. And if we all recall, Nintendo hasn't lost any money on any of their consoles they've ever put out. They pretty much make their money back. Microsoft and Sony, they pretty much lose money. Now, I'm not completely knocking it. I'm not going to knock the technology. I'm not going to say that the PSP2 is going to be crap. It looks like it has some great features to it. It's got great graphics, everything else. So does the 3DS. They're both going to be great portables. They're both going to probably be worth owning. I'm not knocking Sony on that. I'm not going to sit here and compare and contrast which one has better resolutions, which one's going to be able to do this or that or the other thing, because that's not worth it. That's not really the point behind it. The PSP was a good system as well. It had a lot of potential, and it's still a great system. I'm not saying Sony didn't put out a great portable system. It's just, if you let Nintendo get ahead of you, they're pretty much not only going to leave you in their dust, they're going to lap you. And that's the problem, as Sony, I think, waited too long to come out with any information. And I honestly don't think it the information that they released came with that much pomp and circumstance. Nintendo, they brought pomp and circumstance. They brought it to one of the biggest gaming stages in arguably the world, E3, last year, and stole the show. And since then, they've been constantly promoting it and showing it to people and bringing it around to events and going, look at this, and proving that it works. And, you know, I'm not saying that the PSP2 ain't going to work, and I'm sure everything does, and it looks great and everything else. And you just don't let Nintendo get ahead of you. You just can't do that. It's going to be a lot of catching up from here. Look at what happened with Microsoft with their Xbox 360. They got ahead of the game, and they came out before the the PlayStation 3, and it took a long time for the Sony to catch up, and they are arguably catching up now. So that's good news for Sony, is that they can catch up. You know, Microsoft knew that they were going to take a hit with that whole red ring of death, but it was it was a calculation, it was a risk that they took, and they ended up getting a lot of exclusives, and they ended up taking a lot of things away from Sony and getting a lot of co-created stuff that would usually be Sony exclusives or were now Xbox 360 as well. And it took a while. So what we did learn out of that, though, is that Sony can catch up, like they are now. The PlayStation 3 is doing really good, and it has a banner year coming. So when it comes to portable systems, Nintendo has always reigned supreme. And whether it be the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, DSi, and even when better stuff came out, arguably, better graphics, better this, better that, they've still managed to stay ahead of the game. So, Sony, good luck catching up. Nintendo, well, I don't have to, give you any good luck. You already have people lining up for miles for your system, I'm sure. But, don't screw this one up. You have the third-party support, you have everything else, you have the legions of fans backing you. So at this point, they've pretty much done everything flawlessly. I'd hope they wouldn't screw up now. That's kind of my 2 bits on the whole thing. I hope you like this little thing, and I have a comment section down below, and all you Sony fanboys can come and yell at me if you want. I'm fine with that. I love debate. And, what do you think? When's the best deal you ever got, and then found out you found a better one someplace else, like I did? Who knows, right? And looking forward to the 3DS. And hey, I'm even looking forward to see what the PSP2 can do as well. Till next time, game fans, this is Twitch. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to follow. Keep playing.